The 1970s were a golden era for Ford, when horsepower met hard work and durability shaped farming history. These weren't just tractors, they were the backbone of fields, dairies, and family farms across the world. From legendary workhorses to powerful innovations that set new standards, we're counting down the top 10 best Ford tractors of the 1970s, machines that proved reliability never goes out of style. Number 1. Ford 7000. When the Ford 7000 rolled onto farms in 1971, it wasn't just another tractor, it was a statement. Ford had taken its reliable 5000 platform and added something that farmers of the early 70s weren't used to seeing in mid-range tractors, a turbocharger. That single innovation gave the 7000 an edge in power and performance that made it one of the most talked about tractors of its era. Under the hood, the Ford 7000 packed a 4.2-liter turbocharged diesel engine, producing around 89 horsepower, a serious figure for a tractor of that size and weight class in the early 1970s. The turbocharger gave it that deep, throaty growl and a noticeable surge of torque that farmers quickly fell in love with. It could handle heavier plows, balers, and cultivators with ease, making it suitable for both medium and large-scale farms. For many operators, the 7000 felt like owning a larger tractor without the extra bulk or price tag. One of the most impressive aspects of the 7000 was its versatility. Whether it was tilling soil, hauling loads, or running a power takeoff for hay balers, it performed consistently and efficiently. Its 8-speed dual-power transmission gave operators smoother shifts and control under varying workloads. Maintenance was straightforward, with accessible service points and a reputation for mechanical toughness that earned Ford a loyal following. Visually, the 7000 stood out too. That bold blue body, the distinctive white grille, and the classic Ford styling of the era made it an instant icon. And inside the operator's station, Ford began to make comfort improvements that hinted at the modern tractors of the future. Better seat suspension, easier clutch control, and clear visibility from the cab. Even today, over 50 years later, the Ford 7000 remains a favorite among collectors and working farmers alike. Many are still seen in the fields of England, Ireland, and the US, proving that this turbo blue beast was built not just for the decade, but for generations. Number 2. Ford 7600. By the mid-1970s, Ford had gained momentum with its 7000 series, and in 1975, it unveiled something even more powerful and refined, the Ford 7600. This tractor was the spiritual successor to the 7000, designed to meet the growing demands of larger farms and more intensive agriculture. Farmers were moving toward bigger implements, more acres, and longer hours, and Ford responded with a machine that could deliver both muscle and endurance. The Ford 7600 was powered by a 4.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine, capable of pushing out close to 90 horsepower at the PTO. Its torque output was exceptional for the time, making it a tractor that could easily handle heavy draft work, plowing, disking, or running big forage harvesters without hesitation. It was the workhorse that didn't quit, even after a 12-hour day in the field. Ford engineers also gave the 7600 a significant hydraulic upgrade. Its dual remote valves and high-flow hydraulic pump meant operators could run more advanced implements, such as loaders or hydraulic rakes, with precision and power. The tractor also featured a dual-power transmission system, allowing drivers to shift between high and low ranges without clutching, a feature that boosted productivity during demanding field work. The 7600 was also built tough, heavy-duty axles, improved cooling systems, and reinforced chassis construction made it capable of long-term abuse. Despite its rugged design, Ford didn't forget about the operator. The cab was more comfortable than earlier models, with better noise insulation, improved air circulation, and a wider field of view. Farmers who spent long days working behind the wheel noticed the difference immediately. Today, the Ford 7600 is seen as one of the best balanced tractors Ford ever produced. Powerful enough for big jobs, but not overly complex or expensive to maintain. Many are still running strong on farms worldwide, a testament to their build quality and the engineering foresight Ford poured into this model. Simply put, the 7600 was and remains a symbol of Ford's mechanical dominance during the 1970s. Number 3. Ford 5000. Long before the 7000 and 7600 came to fame, the Ford 5000 had already earned its place in tractor history. Produced from the mid-1960s but remaining a dominant force throughout the 1970s, the 5000 was arguably the most successful Ford tractor ever built. Farmers called it the reliable friend, a machine that simply got the job done, year after year without drama. The Ford 5000 featured a 4-cylinder diesel engine producing around 70 horsepower, which placed it right in the sweet spot for mid-sized farms. It was big enough to pull 4 5-furrow plows, yet compact and maneuverable enough for yard work or smaller fields. This versatility made it the backbone of countless mixed-use farms across Europe, North America, and Australia. One of the keys to its success was simplicity and strength. The 5000's mechanical systems were straightforward, built with heavy-duty gears and reliable hydraulics that rarely failed. Routine maintenance could be done with basic tools, and the parts were easy to find and affordable. The 8-speed manual transmission offered solid gearing for both field and road travel, and later models introduced Ford's famous dual power feature, effectively doubling the number of working speeds. The operator station was comfortable for its time, good visibility, sturdy controls, and easy access to the clutch, brakes, and levers. The Ford 5000 was also one of the first tractors to feature Ford's improved Selecto-Speed transmission, giving farmers a choice between simplicity and automation. Its reputation for durability is legendary. Many Ford 5000s are still in daily use more than 50 years after they were built. Some have logged over 10,000 hours and continue to start up like new. The 5000 became a global tractor built in the US, England, and Belgium, which only added to its legendary reliability and widespread presence. Ask any farmer from that era, and they'll likely smile and say the same thing. You could always trust the Ford 5000. It was the tractor that represented dependability, performance, and practicality. 3 qualities that defined Ford's agricultural philosophy throughout the 1970s. Number 4. Ford 3000. Not every farmer needed a 100-horsepower giant, and Ford understood that better than anyone. Enter the Ford 3000, one of the most beloved utility tractors of the 1970s. It was smaller, lighter, and more affordable than its big brothers, but it had a heart of steel and an engine that worked harder than anyone expected. For small acreage farmers, orchard owners, and municipalities, the 3000 was a dream come true. The Ford 3000 came equipped with a 3-cylinder diesel or gasoline engine, delivering around 47 horsepower. Plenty for light tillage, mowing, loader work, or pulling small wagons. Its compact design made it incredibly maneuverable in tight spaces, yet it was rugged enough to handle tough field work. The engine was remarkably fuel efficient, a huge advantage during the oil crises of the 1970s, when fuel prices surged. Farmers appreciated its reliability. The 8-speed transmission, optional live PTO, and power steering made the 3000 far ahead of its time in operator convenience. For many small operators, it was their first experience with a tractor that combined strength with comfort. It could run all day without overheating and required minimal maintenance, a quick oil change, filter check, and it was ready to roll again. Another standout feature was the 3000's adaptability. Ford offered multiple configurations, row crop, utility, and narrow front versions, which made it suitable for different types of farming. Whether you were cutting hay in the countryside or maintaining golf course greens, the 3000 had the flexibility to adapt. Even decades later, the Ford 3000 remains one of the most popular vintage tractors in the world. Collectors adore it for its simplicity, and small farmers continue to use it because it still performs. Its straightforward design and plentiful parts make it one of the easiest classics to restore. It's the perfect example of Ford's engineering philosophy during that era. Build it tough, build it simple, and build it to last. In many ways, the Ford 3000 was the people's tractor. It brought reliable mechanization within reach of the average farmer and earned a reputation that endures to this day. Small in size, but giant in legacy. Number 5. Ford 2000. The Ford 2000 was the little tractor that could, a compact, dependable workhorse that found a home on thousands of small farms, estates, and rural properties around the world during the 1970s. Built for simplicity and reliability, it was never meant to dominate the horsepower wars. Instead, it focused on being the perfect all-rounder for those who needed one tractor to do everything: plow, mow, haul, and cultivate, without the complexity or cost of bigger machines. Powered by either a 3-cylinder diesel or gasoline engine, the Ford 2000 produced around 36 to 40 horsepower, depending on configuration. That might not sound like much compared to its larger siblings, but it was more than enough for everyday farm tasks. Its small size made it ideal for tight spaces, orchards, vineyards, and livestock farms where maneuverability was essential. Farmers loved that it could easily attach to dozens of implements, from rotavators and hay rakes to snowblowers and sprayers. The tractor's 8-speed transmission, reliable live PTO, and independent hydraulics gave it capabilities far beyond its modest size. The steering was light and responsive, especially when equipped with optional power steering, making long days behind the wheel easier on the operator. The Ford 2000's simplicity was its greatest strength. Fewer moving parts meant fewer breakdowns, and when something did need repair, parts were readily available and affordable. The 2000 was also known for being one of the easiest tractors to maintain. Routine service could be done with basic hand tools, and its straightforward design made it a favorite among farmers who preferred to handle repairs themselves. Despite being small, it shared many components with its larger Ford cousins, which added to its reputation for toughness. Even today, many Ford 2000s remain in active use on hobby farms and rural properties. Collectors admire them for their practicality and charm, while operators appreciate their rugged reliability. The Ford 2000 proved that you didn't need brute strength to get the job done, just smart design and honest engineering. It embodied Ford's philosophy of more work, less worry, making it one of the most beloved small tractors of its era. Number 6. Ford 4000. If the Ford 3000 was the nimble utility tractor and the 5000 the mid-sized workhorse, then the Ford 4000 was the perfect bridge between the two. Built to deliver power without sacrificing maneuverability, the 4000 became a staple on mixed farms throughout the 1970s. It was tough, reliable, and well-balanced, a tractor that could switch seamlessly from heavy field work to yard duties. Under the hood, the Ford 4000 featured a 3-cylinder diesel or gasoline engine, producing around 52–55 horsepower. It was known for its impressive torque and efficiency, which allowed it to handle 3 to 4 bottom plows or run larger mowers and balers without hesitation. The engine was fuel-efficient and durable, capable of running for thousands of hours with basic maintenance, a key factor that made it so popular among cost-conscious farmers. One of the standout features of the Ford 4000 was its live hydraulics system with improved flow rate, which provided faster response for lifting implements or operating loaders. The 8-speed dual-range gearbox gave it flexibility across various applications, while the independent PTO allowed smoother power transfer for stationary equipment and balers. In terms of comfort, the 4000 was a step up from earlier models. The operator platform was more spacious, with better ergonomics and a well-positioned steering column. Optional cabs added weather protection, which was becoming more common by the mid-1970s, as farmers demanded more comfort during long hours in the field. The Ford 4000 earned a reputation for being the tractor that fits just right. It had enough power to tackle serious jobs but wasn't so large that it became difficult to handle. Many farmers used it as their primary tractor for decades, and some are still going strong today, performing everything from plowing to feeding livestock. Its reliability and easy maintenance have made it a favorite among collectors too. The Ford 4000 represents that sweet spot, a perfect blend of strength, simplicity, and efficiency that defined Ford's golden era of tractor engineering. Number 7. Ford 4600. By the late 1970s, Ford was refining its tractors to meet a new generation of farmers who demanded more comfort, safety, and efficiency. The result was the Ford 4600, introduced in 1975 as part of the all-new 600 series lineup. It marked a shift toward modernity, combining proven Ford reliability with upgraded hydraulics, improved ergonomics, and better operator environments. The Ford 4600 came equipped with a 3-cylinder 256 cubic inch diesel engine, producing around 55 to 60 horsepower. It was smooth, quiet, and fuel-efficient, perfect for medium-sized farms. The tractor featured live independent PTO, a dual clutch system, and powerful hydraulics with optional dual remotes, making it suitable for a wide range of tasks, from plowing and baling to industrial loader work. Ford engineers paid special attention to operator comfort in the 4600. The new platform had better visibility, a more comfortable seat, easier to reach controls, and improved noise reduction. Optional weather cabs made it an all-season tractor, while power steering became standard on most models, a big leap forward for user convenience. Mechanically, the 4600 carried Ford's legacy of durability. Its rear-end components and gearbox were strengthened, and the cooling and lubrication systems were upgraded to handle extended workloads. The combination of ruggedness and ease of use made it one of the most balanced tractors Ford ever produced. The 4600 wasn't just popular in North America, it became a global bestseller. In Europe and Asia, it became the go-to mid-sized tractor for wheat, sugarcane, and rice farms. Many were exported to developing countries, where they became vital to mechanized farming, and incredibly, many of those tractors are still running today. Farmers who owned a Ford 4600 often said it was the tractor you could rely on to start every morning. Its blend of old-school toughness and modern comfort made it a transitional masterpiece, bridging the gap between the simple workhorses of the past and the more advanced tractors of the 1980s. Number 8. Ford 5600. The Ford 5600, part of the same generation as the 4600, was a symbol of raw dependability. It delivered just the right amount of horsepower, not too big, not too small, and was designed for farmers who needed a machine that could run long hours without complaint. Introduced in the mid-1970s, it quickly became known for its sturdiness and versatility. Under the hood, the 5600 featured a 4.2-liter four-cylinder diesel engine, producing roughly 70 horsepower at the PTO. That power allowed it to tackle heavier implements like large plows, seeders, and balers. Ford built the 5600 with dual power transmission, giving operators 16 forward speeds, which made it easy to find the perfect gear for any task from slow cultivation to fast transport. Hydraulics were another strong point. The high-flow hydraulic system provided responsive control for loaders and three-point hitch attachments, and the independent PTO allowed operators to run power-driven equipment without stopping the tractor. Farmers also appreciated the tractor's stability. The 5600 had excellent weight distribution, which improved traction and reduced slippage in wet conditions. Comfort-wise, the 5600 continued Ford's push toward better operator environments. The platform was roomy, visibility was excellent, and controls were logically placed. Optional cabs added comfort and safety, making it a favorite for all-weather farming. Durability was legendary. The engine was known to run well beyond 10,000 hours with regular maintenance. Many 5600s around the world are still in daily service, especially in Europe and Australia, where they became mainstays of grain and livestock operations. In hindsight, the Ford 5600 represents Ford's perfect balance of power, comfort, and simplicity. It wasn't flashy, but it was built for serious work, the kind of tractor that you could depend on year after year. For many, it was the ultimate everyday tractor of the 1970s. Number 9. Ford 6600. The Ford 6600, introduced in 1975, was a logical evolution of the 5600, offering more horsepower, a stronger frame, and a few key refinements that made it one of the most well-rounded tractors of its time. It was aimed at professional farmers who needed something more powerful than a mid-range machine, but still simple enough to maintain in their own workshop. The 6600 came equipped with a 4.4-liter four-cylinder diesel engine, producing around 75 horsepower. It featured Ford's dual power system, giving operators 16 forward speeds and improved gear ratios for both field and transport work. The engine was smooth and fuel-efficient, delivering the right mix of torque and responsiveness that made it ideal for plowing, planting, and hauling. Hydraulically, it was a step ahead, offering improved lift capacity and hydraulic remotes that could handle more demanding implements. The independent PTO made it easy to run heavy PTO-driven tools like balers or choppers without worrying about clutch timing. The 6600 also featured an improved braking system and a stronger front axle, adding stability when carrying heavy front loaders. The operator station was more refined, with better ergonomics and optional soundproof cabs that significantly reduced fatigue. Ford understood that farming was changing. Operators were spending more hours behind the wheel, and comfort had become essential. Owners of the 6600 often describe it as bulletproof. Its simple design, dependable performance, and availability of parts have made it a timeless machine. Even today, restored Ford 6600s are popular among collectors and small farmers who appreciate its rugged simplicity. The 6600 marked the height of Ford's engineering confidence in the 1970s. Powerful yet practical, refined yet rugged. It was a tractor that could do just about anything and still ask for more. Number 10. Ford 7700 and 8700. At the top of Ford's 1970s tractor lineup stood the 7700 and 8700, the heavyweights that proved Ford could compete with the biggest names in agriculture. These tractors weren't just tools, they were statements of capability, engineering, and endurance. The Ford 7700 packed a 4.4-liter turbocharged diesel engine, producing around 90 horsepower, while the 8700 pushed closer to 120 horsepower thanks to a larger 6-cylinder power plant. These tractors were built for large-scale operations, plowing massive fields, pulling heavy equipment, and running day and night during planting and harvest seasons. Both models featured dual-power transmissions, independent PTOs, and advanced hydraulic systems with multiple remotes for complex implements. Their robust chassis, heavy-duty axles, and reliable drivetrains meant they could handle enormous stress without compromise. The 7700's turbo engine, in particular, gave it incredible pulling power and torque, a favorite among contractors and large grain farmers. Comfort and technology were also improving. The cab on these models was quieter, roomier, and more operator-friendly than ever before. Airflow, seat suspension, and visibility were all optimized for long working hours, a clear sign that Ford was moving toward the comfort standards that defined tractors of the 1980s. Today, the Ford 7700 and 8700 are remembered as the kings of Ford's 1970s lineup. Machines that proved just how far Ford had come in agricultural innovation. Many of these tractors are still operational, pulling heavy equipment or restored as showpieces at tractor exhibitions. They were big, bold, and built to last. Tractors that represented the pinnacle of Ford's engineering in the decade when farming changed forever. These Ford legends didn't just work the land. They helped build generations of farming success. Which model brings back the most memories for you? Tell me in the comments. If you love classic tractors, farm history, and the machines that shaped agriculture, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because there are plenty more legends waiting to be celebrated. Thanks for watching, and here's to the tractors that earned their place in history.